Distractions, distractions, distractions. This is one of the number one procrastination enablers, okay? And we got to get past distractions. And part of the challenge is that they come up and they're so subtle. Like they are so subtle that you're not even thinking about it. Before you know it, you've missed your objective. So what are some, first of all, what is a distraction? A distraction is any activity that we take that takes us away from what it is that we want to achieve, whatever we want to see become a reality. So your actions every day either take you closer to or further away from the object of your desire, okay? And so, and it makes, when you really put it in this framework, it makes your day-to-day decision making easier because you can ask the question, is this taking me closer to or further away from my primary objective? So let's cover a couple of areas of distractions, okay? Probably one of them, number one on the list is social media. Now, I don't know how many of you all found yourself, you're on Facebook, or you're on Insta, or you're on one of the different platforms, and you're seeing something which is seems like an interesting post, and you start reading all the comments that other people make on a specific post, and all this stuff has absolutely nothing to do with what you want to create, nothing to do with moving you forward. But there's this need to want to comment on somebody's, or to do some kind of emoji, something. Bottom line is that from something that may have started out taking 1 minute, ends up, next thing you know, you look at your watch, half an hour has passed, an hour has passed, you're like, damn, right? Where'd the time go, right? So on social media, there are times when you've got to turn your notifications off. Where do you got to turn them? Off. When you're moving towards your objective. If you want to get the things done, you got to shut it down like this. And I know sometimes it's like, it's so hard because the gravitational pull of the phone, I can't let it go. I cannot let it go. Right? Like this, who knows about that, right? So here's the deal though. If you don't put it down, you are saying no to creating whatever reality that you want to create. So put it down. Now, and I'm going to share with you after I've gone through all of these things, how you can actually use these things as fuel to get you into action faster, okay? So that's one. YouTube, and some people get locked in there and they get caught up in so much, because YouTube is almost like the new place for news, you know what I mean? And for stories and things that are of interest. And as soon as you start watching a certain number of videos, the algorithms, they begin to check your preferences, and all of a sudden you start getting a whole bunch of other videos that relate to the exact same thing that you were watching, right? That's how it works, right? You can get sucked into the vortex, better known as YouTube. Like this, you got to avoid this with the passion. You got to avoid this like the plague, okay? So again, if you're on YouTube looking at something that's moving you forward, that's not a distraction. But if you're looking at stuff that has nothing to do with moving you forward, that is a distraction. So TV. Now TV was one of my biggest areas, like one of my biggest nemesis. Like there's something about the couch, and there's a gravitational pull that the couch has. It's like, I'm trying to get up to do what I need to do, but I can't get up. The gravitational pull keeps holding me back, right? So who knows what I'm talking about, okay? So whether it be your favorite TV program or Netflix binging or whatever it happens to be, and we find ways to justify or rationalize why we're watching what we're watching, because, this one more minute, or no, this is really, really cool, or this is really, really insightful. Oh my God, this gives me so many great ideas and insights. But the question is it moving you forward? Is it something that's moving you closer to or further away from the object of your desire? For some, it's hobbies, and things that they just enjoy doing. I guess, and there's nothing wrong with doing hobbies, but not when you got work to do. Part of the, something you actually could do with a hobby is turn that hobby maybe into a business, and now you get to do it all day. How's that? You know what I mean? And so now, because I said if you can get paid to do your hobbies, you'll never work another day in your life. You're good to go, right? But if the hobby is outside of that thing that you really enjoy, you, again, moving you closer to or further away from. Socializing. Now, there are some people who really love socializing, and socializing takes on different forms. For some, it's entertaining political or socio conversations about what's going on in the world and what's happening, and oh my God, this is such a deep contextual conversation. I mean, they're great and all, but the question is the conversation moving you closer to or further away from your objective? It's amazing that through having these types of conversations, you can literally talk your way out of having a great future. Am I making sense? It's either if that conversation isn't constructive, it's not productive, it's not moving you closer to, then why are we doing it? Now, I'm not talking about on social time. I'm not talking about on your chill out time. I'm talking about during work time when things are supposed to be getting done. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about. That's a distraction. And some people just like to hang out and just chill. You know what I mean? They like to do a little puff, puff, pass. I mean, wherever it's legal. You know what I mean? Like whatever it happens to be. You know, at the end of the day, hanging out. There is a time and a place for hanging out. But sometimes that socializing absolutely can kill your future. Texting. There are some people who tend to feel that whether it's instant messaging or whatever, that as soon as they get a message, they have to respond right away as though everybody is on call. Listen, if you are on a job, let's say you're on an assembly line, okay? Like if you're on an assembly line, and what I'm saying right now in particular is for entrepreneurs and salespeople and business people, because people tend to think that because of the fact that we're in business or we're in sales, or they can take the phone calls whenever. They can take your message anytime. They're always available. No. You got to treat it like you are on the assembly line. You know what I mean? At a manufacturing plant. And if you step off the line, you're holding up the entire production line. Does that make sense? So you couldn't take a personal call. Somebody better be dying if there's a call coming. You know what I mean? There has to be some serious emergency. Otherwise, you're not taking texts. You're not responding to stuff. You're not on this thing. Oh my God. And you know what's interesting? You know what's funny? In school, so many people hate writing essays, but people will spend hours texting. You're writing essays all day, right? Like this. And so nothing wrong with texting. But at the end of the day, we're not going to respond or even look at it until the time that it's allotted for, okay? For some people, the distraction is helping out friends. Somebody says, but what do you mean helping out friends? That's a good thing. I should help people out. Yes, there's nothing wrong with helping friends out, and it's a good thing to do. It makes you a good friend. You're helping people out. But here's the deal. When you haven't hit your objectives and you're not where you need to be, are you in any position to do this? There's some of you who are playing counselor to all of these people, and you need counseling. Are you getting me? It's like, come on. Like this. Listen, there's nothing wrong with being a rock and being a stand for people and helping people out. There's no question about that. But some of you are taking hours from doing this stuff. And you're so engrossed, so into it, that now all of a sudden all of your things that need to get done are getting left to the side. Does that make sense? So yes, we're going to do it, but it has to be done right. And the truth of the matter is, there's sometimes you've just got to be able to say the words, I can't do this right now. Want to help you. Look, I'll give you a shout after 8 tonight, or after 10 tonight, or after 11 tonight. Can't deal with it right now. Somebody says, no, but it was really important. They had to talk to me. It had to be me specifically. Well, here's my question to you. All of us have a time when we are not going to be on this planet. So if, let's just say, God forbid, you weren't around or you weren't alive, what would they do? Who would they talk to? They'd have to find somebody else, yes? Come on. Yes, they would. They would have to find somebody else to go run the errand. They'd have to find somebody else to call or talk to get a solution, to get some advice, to get some help, to get whatever that person is requesting of you. I'm not saying you shouldn't be there for people. I'm here for my family. I'm here for my friends. But you got to understand that there are boundaries where this stuff is concerned. I remember, this is an example. I was in Trinidad for about a month doing some business, right? And Now, normally when I would go to Trinidad, I would make the rounds and go see all the family. You know what I mean? And I want to see everybody, and let's go hang out, and let's do this, let's do that. But I was there on business. I was working. Now, one thing, like my family members, if I'm calling them and they're at work, they're not taking up the call at that time. Or if they see the text, they'll call me on a break, right? Or on the lunch, or after work. And I don't expect them to reach out to me while they're working. They're on company time. Does that make sense? So when I was there, I wasn't social. You know what I mean? I guess there was a couple of evenings over the course of the month, you know what I mean, and people came over, whatever the case may be, and I saw who I could, but I had a mission. I had an objective to hit. You know what I mean? There was a reason I was there, investing time and money. You know what I mean? So I can't allow that to interfere with the objective. And so they understood, you know what I mean? Love you lots. Don't love you any less, you know what I mean? But I can't do it right now. And you have to be able to say that, you know what I mean? And if other people don't understand or don't appreciate that, the truth of the matter is they're not real friends. A real friend will understand when you've got to handle your business and you got stuff to do, you know what I mean? And some people got to make some new friends, because some people, the friends that you've got are more like frenemies. They're really not friends. They're not. I guess a true friend's got your back. A true friend understands when you've got stuff to do. And a true friend also doesn't want to be a distraction or a burden. A true friend. You know what I mean? Now, again, and I preface this again, there's nothing wrong with being there for family and friends. It's important. The objective that's in your heart is also important. You have to be the one to prioritize, and you have to be the one to set the boundaries. You know what I mean? So that you can meet those objectives and get past procrastination. Because again, procrastination is robbing you of a future. I guess. And so after you've been there for everybody, I guess after you've helped out everybody, what's left for you? Come on. There's got to be a point in time when you're like, okay, you know what? I have to put me first at some point, you know, I guess, in order to make this thing happen, and be there for them as you can. Does that make sense? I hope so. I hope that this is touching somebody, because this is stuff that's robbing people of their amazing futures. Procrastination is a killer, and it comes in multiple forms. So let's continue. So under business, now I was guilty of this at one point, and again, the stuff comes up subtly when wanting to go out and launch this 10 million strong campaign and going and helping 10 million people worldwide beat procrastination. I recognized that it was going to take a lot of time in order for me to build the material, you know what I mean, to coach people with, and I do stuff online, because I haven't been focused on the online space. I've been focused on the in-person coaching. Come into my classroom, let's do this, let's get it, right? I have some pieces for online, but not a lot, right? So now I'm developing all of that stuff, right? Because now I'm saying, okay, gotta scale this thing, gotta take this thing to a different level, and the like. So in between, there were a couple of different businesses. One was with this product, with a very powerful antioxidant product that I was marketing, which was a great product, you know what I mean? But I thought, let me quickly go out there, get a bunch of customers, build up my residual base. And so now as I'm going out and I'm building the coaching business online, I've got the time and the flexibility because I've got this more passive income coming in. So that was one of my thoughts. Then another one that came up was, I was introduced to the Russell Brunson material and the and how he markets and how he promotes online and how you can literally scale a business from zero to hero in months. You know what I mean? And I was really taken by that. So I'm like, you know what? Again, I don't have my material ready yet. Maybe I should go and do this for a couple other existing companies and then get the practice and learn, how to do this in order so that now when it comes and make some money, build up the money so that while I'm doing the thing for the coaching side, on the coaching side of things, I've got the flexibility of a little bit more time on my hand. I'm not going to need to be putting on as many seminars throughout the weeks and months. And although those were for the most part, smart ideas, you know what I mean? The truth of the matter is, was I procrastinating? Was I delaying? Was I putting off doing what I was supposed to be doing? Absolutely. Absolutely. I guess, and I had rationalized it But you know, when you rationalize, you're telling your mind rational lies. Okay, you know what I mean? Because it's got to sound rational and make sense to make us feel good about it in order for us to go down that road, right? And then I caught myself in that distraction and said, dude, the time I'm taking to build all these other people's companies, I could be building mine. Like, what am I doing? This doesn't make any sense. I'm going to keep doing my seminars as I'm doing them, stay focused, and in every other waking hour, every other waking moment, I'm focusing on this. Let's go, win with Noel. Let's get it. You know what I mean? And the 10 million strong. Let's go. Let's help these people. I am all in, right? And it's amazing from the time that I made that decision too, how a whole bunch of different possibilities have opened up for me and a whole bunch of different things have shown up for me. I can't even begin to explain. Like, it has been absolutely fantastic, phenomenal. Things that I've been waiting for and praying for the last 2 years in order to make this idea become a reality, all of a sudden started showing up inside of a week and a month. It's crazy. Like, it's how fast things start happening. But when you start getting in tune with the right frequency, things start showing up for you, man. That was on the business. So for some of you, the distraction is, well, I want to create this environment first before I start going after X. And I want to just tell you, just again, from personal experience and from personal mistake, no, you want to be doing maximum 2 things, okay? One thing that gives you steady income, and then the one thing that is your business that you're building. That's it. You can't do 3 and 4 things extremely well. There's only 24 hours in a day. Like, if I have this glass of water and I put this water in a spot, you have to be watching the video to be here and seeing what I'm doing, guys. If you're listening to this on the treadmill or listening to this in your car. But if you have a glass like this on the palm, I have a glass right now in the palm of my hand. Can anything else fit where the glass is? Can anything else fit here? No, because 2 objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time. This space is going to be filled by something. The question is, what is that something going to be? Can't do more than one thing in this space. One, that's it. One thing gets to occupy the space. So we have to make a decision about what is going to be that one thing that's going to occupy the space in any given moment, okay? So if you've got 4 things happening, you know what I mean, like this, and you've got 1 space, that means you're doing a little bit over here, you're doing a little bit over here, you're doing a little bit over here, you're doing a little bit over there. Can you possibly maximize when you're doing that? Honestly, of course not. You know what I mean? That's why a jack of all trades is a master of none. That doesn't mean you can't have skill sets in multiple areas, but if you're doing multiple things, it becomes a huge distraction. This is part of the reason why my students, when I get them to trim the fat and hone in, what am I doing? What is my core thing? You know what I mean? That's where they put their energy, and they accomplish more inside of 60 days than they do inside of a year because they're all in and they're focused on it. Does that make sense? So you're not waiting for some future thing to happen before you start getting to work on the thing that the Creator put in your heart. You start immediately. When do you start? Now, immediately. And then you can have maybe one other thing that creates that solid income base for you. I'll get more into this stuff in another chapter, but I just wanted to just touch base on this because this is a major distraction thing that a lot of times people don't see, you know, and you think that, again, being busy means being effective, you know what I mean? And it doesn't necessarily, they don't necessarily align.